Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel where I'm presenting a BBQ Safety 101. My name is Jason McClung and I have been volunteered to do a little barbecue basic safety for you. Show you some of the ins and outs of what to do and what not to do to prevent yourself from being injured while barbecuing. So just to start off, we're just going to do a little prep work here. I'm going to pay some bills. Of course, sponsoring this event is King Habanero Hot Sauce. They're from Tennessee, of course. So, got my tri-tip steak. We're going to get this all prepped so that we can put it on the Traeger. Of course, we'll get to the Traeger later. But basic safety is don't use too much hot sauce. And don't rub your eyes after you use it. We're also going to put a little bit of Cerveza on here. Here's some 805 Firestone Walker. It's a little bit of a waste, it seems like, to use it on marinating meat, but I just generally use about a quarter of a can, and I save the rest of the can for another occasion. That beer is going to help flavor it, and it's going to break down the meat and make it more tender. Of course, some Safeway brand Worcestershire. Give that a little douse. That's really it for me. That's all I need. I'm just going to let that marinate, for an hour or two, and we'll see what happens. Let's go outside. Okay, we're out here. I'm going to get this Traeger going. First thing is, let's kind of take a look around and make sure that the scene is safe. I'm sure we've all heard that phrase before. So let's check the scene. Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this picture? Much better. So, basic things of a Traeger. Going to check the fuel. Obviously, this isn't a Traeger. This is a Z Grills. Same thing. Works just as good, a lot cheaper. So I'm going to take a look here. I haven't used this, for a while. I guess it's March now, so winter time, gets a little cold out. But it's a little side note on Traegers. It's the best thing to cook in that has ever been made. I cook pizzas in here, roast, turkeys, chickens, all that. And as you can see, there's a lot of grease buildup. Yeah, so that grease right there, guess what? That catches on fire. So I am going to take a minute and we'll just pause this, and I'm going to clean this out, make sure that there's no grease fuel buildup. Obviously, one of the number one rules of fire is that it needs a couple different things to work. It needs fuel and it needs oxygen. In this case, we just want the pellets to be fuel and not the greasy buildup. So if you ever wondered how a Traeger works, this is the inside of it. Basically, it has a igniter and it has a blower that's electric, and as the pellets kind of get fed into this little cauldron here, they heat up and basically get your flame, and it circulates the heat throughout this little barbecue pit. One important note is I just cleaned all this out, but this was full of ash and gunk and crap. These have to be cleaned out. That's the number one thing about any kind of barbecue or any kind of kitchen appliance. You have to clean them. Otherwise, that ash and soot and all that gets greased up and adds more fuel to your fire and causes a lot of smoke and a lot of problems. So just, take the time. I know knock shift, we have a lot of time on our hands, so let's step up and clean our barbecues. Alright, I got it powered up. It's going to take a little bit to warm up to where I need it to be. while we're waiting for this, I'm going to go over some other basic, you know, fire fundamentals, I guess you could say. So the great thing about a Traeger is it's electric, as I stated before. So the thing about fires is that, like I said before, it takes fuel, it takes oxygen, and you know, that's what feeds it. So basically the best way to put that fire out is to smother it, smother the fuel, smother the source. Keep in mind that you never want to throw water on a grease fire. I'm sure we've all learned that, but just in case, I thought I'd mention that. But with the Traeger, let's say this does catch on fire, which it has for me. I kind of left the chicken unattended for a while, and yeah, bursting with flames out all sides and all of that. The number one thing to do in that case, the first thing to do, is to turn that power off. I'm just going to turn it off. The reason is because this Traeger has a blower, and even if you close the lid, it's still going to keep blowing and blowing and blowing, feeding that fire. So not as easy to smother as maybe like your basic charcoal grill, where you would just close the lid and cut off the air source. But this one, simply turn that power off, it'll die down. There's no need to get a fire extinguisher out. Speaking of fire extinguishers, I do want to have one available just in case. Basic things about fire extinguishers: there are Class A, Class B, and Class C, and Class D fires. Class A is your basic wood, you know, paper fire, something, you know, where your heater catches your curtain on fire, that kind of thing. You will want to have that fire extinguisher handy for, you know, fires like that. But for cooking, we basically want to be concerned with the Class B and the Class C. Class B is a liquid fire, meaning grease, gasoline, anything that's chemical, etc., and electrical. So you never know. This Traeger is electrical. That thing could catch on fire and you know, be burning inside, and this would come in handy for both a grease situation and an electrical situation. So I'm just going to keep that handy. I'm going to know where this is at all times. Everywhere I go, I bring along my Prepared Hero fire blanket. Got one in my car, got 3 in the kitchen, got one out here. Basically, it's a blanket that is fireproof, and in the event that you have to smother a fire and you don't have a lid to put on, or let's say your fence catches on fire, something, your chair, this is going to protect you from getting burned. It's basically just a, you know, 5x5 blanket that's made of fireproof material, and it's going to put that fire out. So always keep those going handy. Nice. Anyways, can't be perfect. So I wanted to go over some propane barbecue safety tips, since apparently we've had 5 or 6 people get their arm hair burned off lately. Not a good thing. I don't have a propane barbecue with me today, but I do have a propane cooker, and it's basically the same sort of safety tips, because propane is a fuel source that needs to be shut off when it's not working right. So let's go over that. I have this cooker here. Obviously, first thing I want to do is check the seat. Whoa, what do we got there? Oh geez, let's put this gas can back in the garage. Okay, back to the propane. So a lot of common things that happen with this are people turn the propane on and they open the valve, and you can kind of hear it hissing there, right? Well, they start to light it, the lighter doesn't work, bam bam, not working, not working, not working. Well, they walk away, and Here's the trivia question for the hour. What do you need to do to the propane that's sitting there hissing before you walk away to go find a lighter that works? Anyone? You're right. You turn it off, cut that source, let it air out, and go find a lighter that works. Okay, look what I found. Sweet, this will definitely light it, right? Actually, please never do this. I'm going to tell you why. This may seem like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll just use a blowtorch to light my propane grill. Well, I actually, for real, had a friend that was doing this, and I was standing, luckily, a few feet away from him, and the propane was leaking around the cylinder, and when he lit it, and it lit the barbecue on fire, it also lit the propane here coming out of fire, and basically burst this and him into a ball of flames. Luckily, I was able to, do the whole drop dick, stop dick, drop dick, roll dick. For those of you that are in my age group, you know what that means. Rolled him around, smothered him out, and luckily had a fire extinguisher to put the rest of the stuff that caught on fire around us. So just don't do this. Don't be dumb. No. Okay, we're ready again. We're going to try this. We have the ultimate propane barbecue cooker lighter. It's a little bit rusty, but I tested it out. Check this out. See? You can't see it. We got a flame. So we're going to go ahead, turn our fuel back on, open the valve. There we go. Yeah, you see how that could potentially cause a big flame? So let's pretend like we got something cooking here and everything is catching on fire. All the grease, all hell's breaking loose. What are we going to do to put that flame out? Anyone? Remember, we removed the fuel source, which is propane, which to me the easiest thing to do would just be turn the thing off. There we go. You might want to use that fire blanket to smother out the rest of the burning fire that may be happening in the pan or the pot. But generally it'll just kind of cook itself down. You notice that we keep the propane tank a ways away from the cooker itself, and the cooker's away from anything else that might catch fire as well. So there you have it. That's basic barbecue 101. Alright, I did forget a couple really important things to cover. So let's take a look at this. I just put the tri-tip on. See, it's all going nice and hot. Yeah. Tony Chachere's grill seasoning. Just want to sprinkle a little bit on here. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's the secret to my tri-tip. So yeah, thank you guys. That was a real great experience to be able to share all my barbecue stories with you, give you a little tip on the tri-tip, show you how that Traeger works, or the Z cooker or whatever it is. And we had a lot of fun doing it. So feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. Hit like and all that. And you guys have a safe barbecuing season. I'm out.